All right, doctor, here we go. Review video as promised. Some real compelling stuff to take a look at. So let's get going. We're going to start over on the left. Good position there on the left. First time club's parallel to the ground. Not a lot to talk about. Over on the right, we can see the club head is a little bit more out in front of us, more out in front of the hands. Love the club face configuration on both of these. You might think that that club head looks shut. It's actually neutral or square to your spine. Perfect position, actually, in both cases. So not a lot to talk about early. As we get to the top, first time that your lead arm's parallel to the ground, we'll put some lines here. There's a line, there's a line. Can't see too much difference over on the right. A little bit more upright on the left, a little bit flatter. At this point, we really haven't talked about good or bad, which one we're looking for. So we're just going to keep advancing to the top of the golf swing. Top of the golf swing. Not a lot to talk about here either. They look both at this point pretty promising. As we advance, we're going to see the guy on the left, this club head just keeps traveling behind the neck. Over here, we stay a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact, slightly over the top, on top of the line. But still, we're in decent position. Obviously, we like the club head position on the right as opposed to the left. We've overextended. We can see this gap that you have between your elbow, your trail elbow on the left is a little bit, there's more of a gap. We're a little bit more connected over on the right. But here's where we see the huge change. Transition. Everyone's mistake is made in transition. There's just a millisecond of time where transition, if we start to sequence poorly on the way down, we're done. We can't fix it. We can attempt to, but it's just compensation from there. Let's advance the one on the left. We know that we've gone past the line a little bit long. Look at this hand path, how much it rises right here. We're actually going to see the hands rise and go this direction. We don't want that. We want the hands dropping, not rising. Let's look over here. We can see once we reach the top, the hands just start to fall. So there's no rise here. All it is a drop. Okay. Obviously, at this position, much more connected on the right. Let's go ahead and transition. So now we're back on the way down. Look how much that club has risen over on the left in transition. There is a huge gap right there between the shaft planes. Let's see how we do over here. So at the same position, we can see that we've already started to narrow that gap. This is the second time the lead arm is parallel to the ground. We can see our hand position on the right has a little bit more depth. Let's see what happens. Do we continue to fall or do we continue to rise? So this is the second time the club's parallel to the ground. Close enough. Second time parallel. to the ground. Look at the difference. If we gave you an example of where the club head is, there's the club head, there's the club head. Which would you choose? Which looks like the better golfer? Obviously the one on the right. From here we can just turn the corner. On the left, we've already got straight lines happening. This club can only travel on a straight line down to the ball exiting left. I'm going to clear all of this. As we come down, notice the shaft is basically lines up with your lead arm right here. And over here, as we transition, it drops so far down, it's now parallel to your trail arm. Right there. Huge difference. Okay. Now, how did we get to this position? Here's the secret sauce. If I clear everything out, we're just going to show you the one over here to the left. This is just a normal swing with a golf ball in front of you. You can clearly see we're over the top, exiting left. The one over on the right, notice this is the one that our feet are together and we separate our feet right there as we start the transition. What this is called sequencing. It gets the lower body pressuring the ground a little bit earlier, which causes that shaft to fall. It just puts forces on the shaft, forces that you don't have to create with your hands and your arms. Okay, great drill for you. It's unbelievable the difference that it makes without even speaking of it. Now, some byproducts. Notice, let's get you into impact with both of them. Here's impact, okay. Relatively the same. We've got a little bit more gapping with your forearms there than you do here, but not much. Both are nice. But watch the difference on your exit. Let's look at the one over on the left. Your hand path exits straight left, so your hands are already tucked behind your body. And look how hard the club heads is traveling to the left. So if I put an arrow, basically your club path, is traveling straight to the left. What shot patterns will the ball give us from there? Straight pulls and cuts all day long. Straight pulls and cuts. Over here, as we get into impact, we can see that the club stays out in front of us way longer. Look at that, how it's out in front of us. At this point, the club is already buried behind your body on the left. Club head's already out in front. You've probably thought about the idea of your chicken wing. That's a byproduct of everything that happened in your sequence on your downswing. On the left, watch this little chicken wing show up right there. Okay, it had to, because of the way that you were transitioning. All of a sudden, that chicken wing's gone. Look how high this finish is. Look at that position compared to that position. Completely different release pattern. I'll sequence these up. So over on the right, you'll be hitting pushes, and if the face closes at the right time, that ball will start to draw. Here's this little prime. I don't have it perfectly synced up. Let's get you just right there. This is this little prime drill. Prime it. Prime it. Prime it. We can see the club head configuration is so much deeper on the right than the left, which causes better exit points. There. Vast difference into that high finish. Still like to see you get a little bit taller on the right here. You do a good job on the left. So it's all about how we're going to pressure the ground. We need to pressure the ground earlier. Gave you the analogy of tennis. If you're hitting that forehand, your front foot has already pressured the ground before you hit the golf ball. You sequence properly. In golf, you wait to transition until after you hit the golf ball. So try to get into the ground a little bit earlier. Gave you some good drills to work on. Let me know how you do.